The Army Upgrade Channel brings you the most interesting events of the defense complex of different countries. Today we will see
the Chinese are thinking about buying an aircraft that can successfully fight on long-range air borders. And the Su-57 is the only fifth-generation aircraft that can fight far from the airfield. And they don't care about the alleged poor stealth of the newest Sukhoi, which only a lazy man has scolded in the West. But it seems that the Russian fighter doesn't really need the cloak of invisibility. It does not sneak up unnoticed like the F-35 Lightning II. On the contrary, the Russian Su-57, according to NATO classification Felon, flies powerfully, showing muscle. The American media write that Su-57 has not been developed as a competitor on stealth with F-22 and F-35 fighters, though it has properties of reduced radar visibility. Therefore, the new Sukhoi is not capable of penetrating the integrated air defense for deep strike missions. The Su-57 has a completely different task of targeting with ground radar to attack stealth aircraft near Russia's air borders. And this fighter is just what the Celestial Empire needs in its confrontation with the United States aircraft in the East China and South China Seas, where both sides are playing on each other's nerves. In the United States themselves, they believe that the Russians lack quite a bit of money to make the new fighter perfect, after which the F-35 will cease to be a superior fighter. Today, probably only China can afford to buy a squadron of Su-57's for $3 billion, about 30 machines, taking into account additional equipment and training of pilots. As we know, the Russian Air Force is planning to buy 76 of the latest Su-57's, spending about ₹500 billion rubles on this program, which includes the modernization of airborne and ground systems. Thanks to Western sanctions, the aircraft are being produced entirely from Russian components. So, the United Aircraft Corporation is in dire need of finances, and only China can provide help. On American military forums they write that for the Su-57 to make a jump from 4++ to the full-fledged 5th generation, there is nothing left to do. Hide the engine, clearly visible in the infrared spectrum, improve the hull to reduce visibility, improve the engines and some other little things. After that, there is no doubt that the villain will become a brutal killer of all enemy fighters. For all that, the Russian plane has such a large weapons compartment that it is jokingly called a flying bus, probably compared to the tiny F-35. So there is room for placing next-generation weapons, such as hypersonic nuclear cruise missiles, in the Su-57. But the world arms market is becoming crowded, but China has managed to squeeze out competitors, including the United States and Russia. Therefore, Beijing must be aware that the purchase of a squadron of Su-57's could undermine the export position of its national stealth fighter J-2. So for now, China's purchase of the Su-57 fighter hangs in doubt. And what do the channel viewers think? Will the Chinese go for the purchase of the Russian aircraft Su-57 or not? Write your opinion in the comments.
all about the secret technologies of the U.S. Air Force B-21 Raider stealth bomber. See at the end of the video at the link. Today we will look at the Russian laser system Peresvet. Presumably, the possible purpose of this combat laser has become known. According to a number of experts, the Peresvet laser complex is primarily intended to disable satellites. This laser is one of the echelons of the anti-space defense and refers to the anti-satellite weapons with the functional defeat. Presumably, it is supposed to affect the spacecrafts in the near-Earth space in the orbits up to 500 kilometers high. This is where almost all reconnaissance satellites and Earth dynamic sensing satellites turn, and the number of these satellites increases every year. The laser is also capable of striking atmospheric flying vehicles. It burns out surveillance equipment of spy planes and drones, and in the future, destroys them at close range. The main task of the Peresvet is the blinding of enemy reconnaissance assets in the threat period before a nuclear conflict, which will guarantee the inevitability of a retaliatory strike. And not by single surviving missiles, but by full salvos of the whole divisions of the strategic missile forces. The Army Upgrade Channel reminds us that the laser systems have been seen only at the sites of deployment of strategic missiles Yars and Satan. Interestingly, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu compared the Peresvets to the lightsabers from the fantasy space saga Star Wars. Army Upgrade Channel brings you the events of the defense industry in different countries. Today, we will see how the Minister of Defense of the Russian Federation, Army General Sergei Shoigu, inspected the progress of the State Defense Order at the Defense Industry Enterprise, Novosibirsk aviation plant named after Kalev. The head of the Russian military inspected the flight test station and final assembly shop of the enterprise, which is engaged in serial production, repair and modernization of Su-34 fighter bombers. The director reported to Sergei Shoigu that at present the enterprise is capable not only of producing serial production but also of overhauling aircraft that have exhausted their service life in the course of operation. In order to save money on production, the enterprise combines repair work with modernization of combat vehicles, which are now carried out simultaneously. The head of the Russian military department set a task to the enterprise's management to increase the pace of production, stating that the Su-34 fighter bomber is the main workhorse, so it is necessary to step up, to hurry up. In addition, the issue of performing development work on the creation of a complex with long-range unmanned aerial vehicles S-70 Hunter was considered. The Russian Su-34 fighter bomber is designed to deliver precise missile and bomb strikes against enemy ground targets in operational and tactical depth, as well as to defeat enemy air targets. In terms of combat capabilities, it belongs to the 4+ generation of aircraft. The Su-34 airframe is designed according to the integral longitudinal triplane scheme and has a pronounced integral layout. The cockpit is designed, for the first time in the world practice for this class of aircraft, as an armored titanium capsule. It is entered not traditionally through the upper lantern, but through the niche of the front landing gear support and a hatch in the rear wall of the cockpit. The height of the cockpit allows the pilot to stand up to his full height and warm up. There is a bathroom and a microwave oven for hot meals for the crew. The airplane is equipped with unified K36DM ejection seats, which provide emergency ejection of a vehicle in distress in the entire range of altitudes and flight speeds. The Su-34 uses highly effective guided air-to-surface and long-range air-to-air weapons with multi-channel application. The crew is 2 persons. Maximum takeoff weight 45 tons. Maximum weight of combat load 8,000 kg. All about the secret technologies of the U.S. Air Force stealth bomber B-21 Raider. See at the end of the video at the link.